Welcome. Happy Thursday. This is John McEntyre Money Show live. Prime time of John McEntyre. And this evening we have a real estate topic we're going to cover. Um, but before we get into that, we have to share the wallet wins. Like I say, these wallet wins are a blend between some of the financial ones and some wins that I've been hearing about being reported as far as the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. And so the first one is that I did find the money. Um, I did find the money last month, which meaning a program we do with people, clients when they're wanted to pay off debt, things like that. Normally, we find money already in their house, and then we go outside of the house, maybe an extra job, something like that. Most of the time, we're going to find plenty of money inside before we have to go outside. This particular person found $1,200 extra a month from doing Find the Money. Sold a few things, but mainly it was, you know, um, negotiating with property insurance, their property and car insurance. They were able to negotiate with that. They were able to negotiate on credit cards. Um, did away with some subscriptions that they were not using and memberships that they were not using, and that's where most of the money was found. And you would not believe how much money you can save until you do it. I'm a testament to that. Inside of our household, Andrea did one thing with subscriptions and freed up almost $300. So it's not impossible. So that was the first one. Number two, my FEMA application was approved today. Good to hear. It's a big wallet win. They're starting to roll now. Um, People are finally settling down and calming themselves down. Most of the time when you go through a catastrophe like this, I've never been through one like this. So I don't know exactly from experience, but I know a lot of people that have. Uh, you're in shock. You walk, you're sort of in shock. You can't believe. I mean, there's places I'm still in shock myself. There's some places I was like, that was like one of my favorite burger spots that I would go to in Lake Lure, Chimney Rock area. That was my favorite ice cream shop. Things like that, where we got our coffee and our cakes. These were like friends. And so I'm like, almost 100 miles away, and I'm in shock. So I can just imagine having to walk around in that. You've lost, your life's work, your investments or your home, all of those memories washed away. And so I can understand it. So, but people they've gone into the next level, which is let's get this fixed. Let's go into action. And so we're beginning to see more and more progress. Even though we have a long way to go, we are seeing progress. So that was wallet win number two. Wallet win number three was a good one. Someone that actually I located my document protector buried in 5 feet of mud, and everything was clean and dry. So yes, huge wallet win, because that's always one of the first things. Okay, where are my documents? Where is this? Where all of that stuff. And so to have found that would be in my top five. My family, my friends, my people surround me, the pets, home, stuff like that. But those documents would be in top five, because that's part of rebuilding. The quicker you can get those, the quicker you can go into rebuilding stage. And so there we go, three good wallet wins, and I welcome more of them. If you know of any, share them. Share them if they're with family, friends, or anyone. Share them here. Hashtag wallet win. We want to celebrate, from here on out until everything is rebuilt, because we want to build back better. Um, Share your questions, comments. Uppercase Q. We see it, and we'll answer the question. But up until now, for now rather, we'll answer this question that I had to come across the table for someone who's thinking of buying, their first home. And the question is, what's the difference between a condominium and a townhouse? What is the difference? because they're kind of leaning more towards that. As we've had the discussions, they're leaning towards it. Um, but a lot of people will use those two terms interchangeably, and they may they really don't even look the same, once you think about it. Um, but let's keep it here. And I'm in North Carolina, um, so let's start with the townhouse. With the townhouse is actually a hybrid. You have single family houses, you have townhouses, you have condominium and co-ops. Co-ops, you see those in cities. In Charlotte's had them for a long time, and people didn't even know it. But there's only a few of them, a few co-op buildings, if any. I don't even know if I think they've been converted to condo tales, to condominium hotels. I'm not sure, but the townhouse is actually a hybrid. It's a hybrid. When you see uh, up in the cities, especially up north, you hear them called row houses. A lot of times they're connected. They look like tall houses, but they are connected. So you see doors going down the street, steps, outside steps, everything like that. Then in the back you may have a garage or whatever, if it has a garage. If not, then you see the back, you walk around the back, whatever. So they're connected. And most of the time, townhouses aren't stacked. They're either 2-story, or they are, if they're 1 story, they're just side by side, but they're all connected in a row. That's a townhouse. So when you own a townhouse, you own the interior of your building, your walls, inside your walls. You own the exterior of your wall. When it goes out, the exterior, you own that. And then you own the land line also. Property line also runs with that. So whatever it goes out to the road, if there's a sidewalk or whatever, sidewalk, city, things like that, those are um, city owned properties. Because they have to keep those up. And then in the back, so if you see any grass, front or back or garage, whatever, when it goes back to the actual sidewalks or whatever's in the back, also, you own that. So you receive a deed to land. You actually receive, like a single family house. Single family house, you own the house and the land that comes with it. You buy it. Townhouse is the same. So it's basically connected single family houses is what it is. Um, that's townhouse. Condominium is different. Condominiums, most of the time, you see they look like apartment buildings. That's what most people will they call them both, but especially condominiums, they'll say, yes, that apartment building. Oh, well, those are those are owned condominiums is what they are. And so with a condominium, you own the airspace inside your four walls, and you have access to all of the amenities. So if there are pools, clubhouses, things like that, whatever, or sometimes you may see condominiums, townhouses built in single family neighborhoods also. Let's call mixed use. Like our neighborhood is mixed use. It has condominiums and townhouses and single family houses in there. So the condominium owners, they own inside their walls and the actual use of the amenities in the neighborhood. They don't own any land. They own an interest in the land. The actual condominium association, you'll see COA, it owns the land. So they all together form the condo association, and they own the land. Uh, and so if you sell it or whatever, you sell your interest in the condo association. They're responsible for keeping up the land or any other amenities of the area, whatever. And whatever land the building is on, like I say, you own interest in it. And those charges are split up equally and things like that. So those are the main differences. Also, what you have to take into an account is insurance, because you have an umbrella policy that covers the structure, the entire building itself. And then you have another policy for your inside of your four walls. or really the middle of the wall. So if the wall is 2 feet, you have a wall, your neighbor's wall is here. If it's 2 feet, 1 feet, you own 1 feet inside of there, so you insure all of that and all of that good stuff. That's if it's a townhouse. If it's a condominium, then that's part of the COA, the condominium association. So you own inside of the walls, and that's how technical it is. That's really how technical it is. And so those are the things you have to keep in mind as far as insurance, because you're insuring inside of the wall your personal stuff. With a townhouse, you also have insurance that's covering the land. Someone is injured on your property or whatever, you have insurance that would take care of that. And so you have to take all of that into consideration. It's just really how much are you wanting to own. Is owning land important to you, or you just want a nice place to live? When you get into cities, the core downtowns, uptown areas in Charlotte is called Center City. That was me. I favor condominiums and townhouses. I mean, because I grew up on an acre lot, and then I had family. Had lots of land. They love land. I like land too. I like owning it, but I don't want. I'll live on it later on in life, probably pay someone to take care of it. That was my main reason. I wanted to live downtown. I wanted those amenities to be taken care of. I didn't want to spend all of my time taking care of exterior type stuff, conservation, mowing lawns and things like that. And that was me. That's just the way I am. I've always liked them. When I go to cities, big cities, Chicago, New York, I love seeing those brownstones. And most people think, well, you buy a condominium or a townhouse, because you can't afford a single family. Okay, so that $100 million condominium in New York, that's like first time buyer. Or those 10, $15 million brownstones in Chicago on Lakeshore Drive, those are entry level houses. No, these are some of the wealthiest people in the world are living in these places. Um, Chicago, for instance, that's where that's where she lived. She lived like right up there on Lakeshore Drive, overlooking the water and everything. It was how well some of the athletes lived there and all of this. And I'm quite sure she could afford a house. I mean, she does. She owns like a few $100 million worth of personal residences, and so that's usually the stigma when people hear condo. But once you meet condo owners, you understand those are different like people. They're not like bound to houses. They're usually like travelers and things like that, knowing that their place is being taken care of. Whether they don't have to hire anyone, because the condo association or HOA, homeowners association, they're taking care of that, all of the exterior upkeep, um, even like washing, pressure washing, keeping the exteriors clean, things like that. Those are things to take into consideration. And to even before you even buy condo or anything, single family, if it's inside of a neighborhood, you want to read the covenants, conditions, and restrictions that tells you what you can and can't do in the places. Especially now, there are condominium, townhome, and neighborhoods also with just single family houses. They're usually a little bit more. They usually have a few more rules, less rules than the condos and townhouses. But here in North Carolina, there are places where um, you cannot have your condo or townhouse on Airbnb or any type of short-term rental. People don't know that, and they put them up for rent. And they get the letter from the association saying, "Hey, you can't do that." Well, this is my place. You can't do it. Oh, you didn't read the covenants, conditions, and restrictions. It plainly says in there, no short-term rentals. That includes Airbnbs, or no small businesses in the condos or whatever. Or if you do have a business, you can't have signs, and you can't have, if you have any vehicles that pertain to your business and they're like decorated with signs and stuff, they may not be like in view, like on the main streets or whatever. And I mean, it happens. It happens a lot. There's a big arguments behind that, and so you have to take all of that into consideration. Read those covenants, conditions, and restrictions, um, and just to make sure that that's what's going on here. So I hope that was helpful. That information, which brings me to the question of the evening. Even though I put the question of the day, do you prefer to own a single family house, condominium, or townhouse? And you know, you could even put your reason why. Also, I forgot to mention with condos and sometimes townhouses, co-ops, you don't really own anything but just the interest. You just own the use of the place. It's owned by the association, the entire building, and the interior walls. You own interest like stock. You own like stock of the actual building, and coming with the ownership stock is you own the use of one of the apartments. And that's a co-op. I forgot to put that in there. That's the way co-ops work. Like I say, you see those in cities, especially New York is loaded with them, places like that. So I hope that information was helpful. If you're thinking of buying a condo or townhouse, or just thinking of buying your first house, second house, whatever, condos, townhouses, those are usually vacation homes, second homes, things like that. If you have any questions, contact us. We'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction with that. So, with that being said, hope I gave some good information. If I did, share it, subscribe to the channels, Facebook, YouTube. Share them with friends. Tell everyone about them. Send in your questions, your comments. Share those wallet wins. And until tomorrow, we'll be back same time, same channel. Good evening.